John with you from Workshop Addict. Today we're going over the Bosch GCM12SD along with its gravity rise stand. John's had this saw for a little bit and he talked me into buying one, so we're going to go over some of the features that it has and some of the benefits compared to other saws.
Yeah, like Brian said, I've had this saw for 3 years now, and he's heard me bragging about how much I really love this saw, so I pretty much talked him into it. I've got a lot of experience with this saw, and I was anxious to come take a look at it when he said he got one. I wanted to see if they made any significant changes, and no, they didn't. It stayed the same, and it's kind of what I like. When somebody gets a tool right, don't change it. If you don't know, the 12-inch, this is a 12-inch glide miter saw, which is similar to the slide miter saws with one huge exception. This thing runs on a pivoting arm back in the back here, and there's no rail system that hangs out the back. So if you're limited in space, a slide miter saw can go very, very deep. And a glide miter saw here, you can actually sit this flush up against the wall. For me, it's great because I have a workshop in my basement. I don't have a lot of room. I like to keep mine on the workbench, and therefore all back and front space is important. So I can sit this right up against the wall. Now with this gravity rise stand, this makes this a much more portable unit. That was the one big complaint that came out about this with contractors, is it weighs something like 75, 78 pounds, something like that. And if you've got a contractor trying to take this off of his truck and take it out to the site, super heavy, and it's not transportable. Matter of fact, they came out with a 10-inch model of this, about 20 pounds lighter, to try to solve that problem. But with this gravity rise stand, you can leave your saw mounted and move it around and basically make it mobile.
Yeah, it's really easy to move.
Yeah, I haven't used the gravity rise stand yet, but I can see where this would make a huge improvement to the weight. A couple things about this unit. Like I said, it's got a pivoting arm back here, and for transportation with contractors, you got to find a way to lock this down. There's a lever in the back that you can lock it, and it keeps it from moving. Of course, there's also a safety pin. Push that in, that locks the unit down. It's not going anywhere. So transporting it on the gravity rise stand is easy with these two features. Right above the pin here, this is kind of neat for us woodworkers, there is a dado step. So you can basically adjust how deep your blade goes every single time. You can make dado cuts with it, just by adjusting this pin in the back and moving this knob over. I don't know what the official cut distance on is. I think they say it's something like 14 inches, but I've been able to cut 14.5 inches on some like thinner quarter-inch wood and stuff, which is great. 14.5 inches. Rarely do I find a time in the shop that I can't cut everything I need to cut. And especially for a contractor, there's very little you're not going to be able to cut with this unless you're cutting OSB board. You know, it's 36 inches you got to cut, or 24 inches.
On your table saw.
Yeah. There's also another unique feature on this, and this would be great for contractors. But back here is a pin that if you pull it out and twist it, and you do the dual bevel, it makes a perfect stop for crown molding. 33.9 degrees. Then come around front here. Your angles, there's a little knob here, you loosen the knob, the handle underneath, you pull it up, and you have to push it out. There's like a three-way action here. And you can get whatever miters you want. And it has quite a few detents in here. If you let it go, you can get it to stop at, what is it, 60, 45, 22 and a half, 35 and a third, 35, there's a ton of detents on it. Along with that, I also said this was a dual bevel, and there's a little knob on the side here that it allows you to either bevel right, bevel left, or go both ways. So basically, you have to release the handle over there, pick which way you want to go, and you can bevel your saw up to 45 degrees one way, and I believe it's 45 to 50 the other way.
45.
45? Okay. Once you're done, you lock it back in. So this one has basically all of the same features as you would on the other slide miter saws, with a couple extra thrown in. A couple things I don't like about this saw, and I'll point this out big time. This is such a high quality saw. The only thing it does not perform well at is dust collection. It's okay. There's a little shroud in the back here that directs all of your sawdust into. That does a pretty decent job. When I have it on my bench, usually every week or so, I have to go behind and clean up all the sawdust because it just doesn't catch it. I've even tried making this a larger shroud, putting a little wooden structure back here to direct everything right into the dust sheet, and it's not working great. This dust bag will catch, there's a dust bag that comes with the unit, and it will catch a majority of the big pieces. But, I mean, if you take a look at the bag, you can actually see through it, so it's not going to catch your harmful dust. It will allow itself to hook up to shop vacs. You either have to have an adapter to come up to the 2.5 inch, or like this will fit the Bosch vacs, which we had it hooked up to earlier. Did about the same, didn't perform any better than the bag, except for it's going to pick up whatever harmful dust you have out there.
Seems to pick up the smaller pieces a lot better than the bigger pieces.
When you get this unit, one thing you'd find out is you can see this glide here. It operates pretty smooth. This is actually after we put some tension on it. In the back here, there is a little screw that you use to adjust the tension of this. When you get it out of the box, this thing will slide like it's on ice. So there is just a little adjustment back here. Tighten it up because it's just easier to work with and safer. But we had a little fun with it a little while ago and made some sawdust.
Yeah. The nice, it's everything, the tools that are needed are all stored on board, stored out back, not in front of anything or in your way. You're not going to trip over anything where you're trying to get something removing wood. It does have safeties on here, which I'm not used to.
Yeah, this handle is actually made for right and or left-handed people. I've actually used it left-handed a couple times, but there's just a knob that you have to pull the trigger. You have some slide outs here for longer pieces of wood that lock into place. So if you don't have the gravity rise stand, you can work on a little bit bigger pieces. It doesn't go real far, but the gravity rise stand slides out pretty far. And they have their supports that are adjustable on both sides, along with a built-in stop. So, nice looking stand.
Yeah, it stands awesome. Moving this around, easy. It is a little bit heavier. Moving it around's a breeze with the wheels. Even if it's set out, you're like, okay, I just want to move it, and just grab it and go.
We were moving one of his old saw around that had an older stand, no wheels on it. And basically, you had to have two people, otherwise it's just too heavy and too big to move around. So this is a one-man job here where you can pick it up and move it. It folds up, you can put it in the corner. But you can see here, we got a big piece of wood. Actually, this is decking, and the saw has no problem extending way beyond that. So I started off with a 10-inch saw at first. No glide, no slide, and I was always frustrated. I could never do anything more than like a 2x4 or 2x6. If I put a 4x4 on there, I was limited. So as soon as I got this, I've been smiling every time ever since I used it.
And you love the blade, right?
Oh, yeah, that was the other thing I was telling Brian about. First thing I do, get rid of that blade. It doesn't have any vibration dampening grooves cut into it. And when you use it in the basement, you gotta wear hearing protection anyway, but it's just ear piercing. It just rings and rings and rings. But again, I have like a 90-tooth blade on my saw with all the vibration dampening stuff, so it makes a huge difference.
A lot of options on this saw, a lot of things that you could look at, a lot of things that are just little, all the little levers are red. So it's nice to know they're not hidden anywhere. You can find them.
Yeah, anything that's red on here is probably going to do something, which is nice. I mean, it's easy to find. You have red dot here, the red dot in the back, your crown molding stop.
Everything that does something is red.
Yeah. Now, another thing that's nice is in here, this is your saw is run by, your motor's mounted up top, and there is a belt in here. Very easy access, so if that belt ever breaks or you need to get in there, you can pull this off, pull the belt off. 4 bolts pulls the motor off, so everything is, if you had to replace it, you can get a part, put it back together, no problem.
So why don't we show them how the stand works?
Yeah.
First, make sure that your saw is locked down completely so that it doesn't move, and then we want to unlock our support arm. Simply pull down on our lever, put the tires into lock, we're ready to move. You let the saw back down, simple as pulling the lever, drop into place, locking your support arm back in. And that's all it takes. From Workshop Addict. Today we're going over the Bosch GCM12SD along with its gravity rise stand. John's had this saw for a little bit and he talked me into buying one, so we're going to go over some of the features that it has and some of the benefits compared to other saws.
Yeah, like Brian said, I've had this saw for 3 years now, and he's heard me bragging about how much I really love this saw, so I pretty much talked him into it. I've got a lot of experience with this saw, and I was anxious to come take a look at it when he said he got one. I wanted to see if they made any significant changes, and no, they didn't. It stayed the same, and it's kind of what I like when somebody gets a tool right, don't change it. If you don't know